No, I'm not Ted Turner. If he was here, he'd better be armed and ready to go out the door with this crowd. Look, though, when my wife and I go down to Atlanta, the upside is we get the best seat in the house. The downside, everybody expects me to pick up the tab, so I don't go back to Atlanta. Yes, we gave for the estate tax, the death tax, and but truth be told, Ronald Reagan called it the death tax in the 1980s, but it's true that the 60 Plus Association has driven that point home, and while the liberals like to say that's a tax cut for the rich, that's nonsense. That horse is dead. Dismount. The rich set up foundations all over the country. It's farmers, small businesses all over this country who are the ones that suffer because of the death tax. I almost called it an estate tax. And there's a $1 fine every time you call it an estate tax at our office. No, the AARP, we call them, would you, just so nobody thinks that we belong to the AARP, we call them the Association Against Retired Persons, because they made $600 million last year on the backs of the elderly. And then guess what happened? What happened 2 years ago? It was just discovered that some emails, AARP members were voting 14-1 against passage of the Obamacare bill. Now, if your members are telling you 14-1 don't do something, you either ought to have a press conference and say, Mr. President, it isn't working. You know what the AARP did? They sent a message to the White House and they said, we must change our messaging. That's how pitiful that is. They betrayed the right to represent seniors, and the 60 Plus Association is signing up seniors in droves. We have over 7 million. That's our bus there. We talk about the healthcare bus. It's patient-centered healthcare we need, not government-centered healthcare. Let me give you a couple other differences between the AARP and the 60 Plus Association. The AARP is a very liberal, upfront group. They like to tout as their entertainer of the year, a guy named Harry Belafonte. Now, Harry Belafonte is a great entertainer, but he likes to hobnob with Ahmadinejad and Chavez. He is so far to the left, he makes, hard to believe, but he makes the president look moderate. While our man of the year, our guy that we look up to, is another legendary entertainer, Pat Boone. You may have heard of Pat Boone. And Pat Boone likes to talk about his friendship with Ronald Reagan, his old buddy from Hollywood. Look, again, the major difference, they take tax dollars, the AARP does, we don't. They're selling products, we're selling a philosophy. Limited government, less regulation, and an adherence to a document called the Constitution of the United States. More and more folks ought to be reading this document back in Washington, and my friends that will come up in a minute, we all work up there trying to get that message across. As far as Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, it's neither affordable, it's unaffordable, and there's not much care in it for us old folks, us seniors. So while the Supreme Court made a ruling, that's not etched in stone. We're now taking it to another court, the People's Court, and we will win this before it's all over. We're going to ask you later on, come over and say hello to Pat. Pat Boone is not with us. He would have been, but his wife of 58 years, Shirley, is having some cataract surgery, so he had to go back to Los Angeles. But we have a great crew here, and we're going to hear from some of them later. Anyway, if anybody out here is 60 plus, I'm going to sign you up. I don't see anybody in that crowd, so I'm going to go on down the road. Thank you very much. Thank you.